1/3 the conference room fell silent the moment Daniel Brooks placed his company badge on the polished oak table. No one expected the man who had been Horizon Office Solutions' #1 sales representative for 3 consecutive years to walk away without raising his voice, making threats, or demanding an explanation. The chairman looked at him and asked, "You're really leaving over one promotion?" Daniel smiled, not with anger, but with quiet disappointment. "No," he replied. "I'm leaving because I finally realized loyalty only matters when both sides value it." 3 years later, that single sentence would come back to haunt everyone in that room. This is a fictional story inspired by themes of perseverance, integrity, and kindness. Daniel Brooks never imagined his career would become the center of a lesson that would change dozens of lives. At 38 years old, Daniel was a single father raising his 10-year-old daughter, Emma, after losing his wife, Rachel, to cancer 6 years earlier. Every morning started the same way. He packed Emma's lunch, braided her hair with skills he had painfully learned from online tutorials, dropped her off at school, and drove 40 minutes into downtown Chicago before most of the city had finished breakfast. His co-workers joked that Daniel could probably sell an umbrella in the middle of a desert. But Daniel never believed selling was about convincing people. "It isn't about closing deals," he often told new employees. "It's about opening relationships." Customers trusted him. They remembered his birthday calls. They remembered handwritten thank you notes. They remembered how he checked in months after every contract was signed just to ask if everything was working. That genuine care turned into record-breaking sales year after year. The company celebrated him constantly. His photograph hung in the lobby. His name appeared in newsletters. Executives praised him during quarterly meetings. Whenever someone asked who would eventually become regional director, everyone assumed it would be Daniel. Including Daniel himself. Not because he felt entitled. Because he'd spent 12 years earning it. When Chairman Robert Whitmore announced a nationwide leadership restructuring, excitement spread across every office. The regional director position finally opened. Daniel wasn't the only candidate, but he was clearly the strongest. His numbers doubled everyone else's. Employee surveys consistently rated him as the best mentor. Clients specifically requested to work with him. Even competitors respected his reputation. For weeks, colleagues congratulated him before the announcement had even been made. "You've already got the job," one coworker laughed. Daniel simply smiled. "We'll see." Promotion day arrived. Employees gathered in the auditorium. Chairman Whitmore walked onto the stage beside his daughter, Victoria Whitmore. Victoria had worked at Horizon for just 18 months. She was intelligent, confident, and ambitious, but she had never managed a large team. When the chairman announced her as the new regional director, the applause sounded polite instead of enthusiastic. Daniel clapped too. Not because he agreed. Because bitterness had never been part of his character. Victoria accepted the position with a polished speech about innovation and fresh leadership. As everyone filed out, awkward silence followed Daniel through the hallway. Nobody knew what to say. One coworker finally whispered, "I'm sorry." Daniel smiled gently. "It's okay." But deep inside, something had changed. Later that afternoon, Chairman Whitmore invited Daniel into his office. "I hope you're not taking this personally." Daniel looked around the room where he'd celebrated so many milestones. "I wish I didn't." The chairman leaned back. "Victoria represents the future of the company." Daniel nodded. "I understand wanting to prepare the next generation. So we're good." Daniel paused. "I've given this company 12 years. I know. I missed holidays. You did. I canceled vacations. True. I built relationships worth millions. You certainly did." Daniel stood. "I don't regret any of that." The chairman smiled with relief. Then Daniel quietly placed his employee badge on the desk. "But I can't stay somewhere that mistakes loyalty for convenience." The chairman frowned. "You'd really quit?" Daniel answered calmly. "I'd rather start over than spend years wondering whether effort still matters." He shook the chairman's hand. "I sincerely hope Victoria succeeds." Then he walked away. Most people assumed Daniel had made the biggest mistake of his life. Even Emma worried. "Dad, Are we going to be okay? Daniel knelt beside her. We'll have less money for a while. She nodded. But we'll still have movie nights. He smiled. Absolutely. And pancakes on Saturdays. Every Saturday. She hugged him tightly. Then we'll be okay. For several months, life became difficult. Daniel took consulting work. Neighborhood waiting behind another. Emma laughed. I think Mom would have liked that. Daniel looked toward the evening sky. I think she would have too. Success, he realized, isn't measured by titles, corner offices, or applause during company meetings. It's measured by the lives you quietly improve when nobody is keeping score. The promotion Daniel never received became the opportunity he never imagined. Not because injustice magically disappeared, but because he chose integrity over bitterness, kindness over revenge, and purpose over pride. And perhaps that's life's greatest lesson. People may overlook your effort. They may underestimate your value. They may even choose someone else when you've done everything right. But your character is something no one can promote, demote, or take away. Keep showing kindness. Keep serving others. Keep believing that doing the right thing has value even when it isn't immediately rewarded. Because the seeds of generosity often bloom long after disappointment fades, and sometimes the greatest victories begin the moment you have the courage to walk away with grace, forgive with sincerity, and keep moving forward with hope.